Hi, Divya. Hi, Divya. Hello? Divya, can you hear me? Hello, Divya? I'm connecting to audio. Okay, that's fine. Hi, Divya.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hi. Can you come on
Hi.
screen? Check you're okay?
Yes, yes. Just a second.
Perfect. Listed down as OWIT International. I need to change my name. I'm using the OWIT International screen. Hi. Lovely to see you always. How are you doing?
Yes, I am all right. How are you? You okay?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Just be mad. I finished another call on another Zoom, so I had to get out of that Zoom to come quickly open up this Zoom. It just gets to be a bit mad. So you've spoken to Elena and everything is okay? You're
Yes,
comfortable with what you're doing?
yes.
Perfect.
I
Yes.
spoke to Elena contacted me last week, and she sent us a questionnaire also. So I done my homework.
Oh, she sent you the questionnaire as well.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Good, good, good. Yes, yes, that's going round to all members. So it will be going out in an email shortly. We just needed to get this webinar off the ground, and because we're trying to do it with different chapters. So the next one is going to be with the US, and then we're going to do another one with another place in Africa, and we just continue looking at the borders. So
Oh, that's yes.
yeah, I think it's interesting because there's so many obviously different markets, and it gives, I mean, you deal in that market. So for you being able to actually know the British High Commissioner now in Nigeria is a
Yes.
very obviously good point of contact for you. So, and likewise, for Nigerians wishing to come here, I think that works pretty well. Yeah. So have you been
Yeah.
traveling a lot?
Yes, we've been traveling a lot, and we will be going to India in Jan and Dubai in February, attending Gulf Food Expo.
Yeah.
Dubai.
Yes. So that's good. That's good. Yeah.
I heard. I think your sister was there. You said once in
She
Dubai.
was, yeah, she doesn't do the Dubai. She gets the ready food stuffs. So she was actually, I think, in Paris a month
In,
ago.
in November, yes, it was CL Paris. Yeah.
Yeah, so she went to that
Okay.
a bit last minute. And I think she went to the one in Germany earlier
And
this,
yeah, we
yeah,
were there. We were there.
yeah.
I know.
Did you contact her? Because I've given you her name.
You
Did you?
given her name, and I don't have her contact details. So if you can share, so I'll touch with her.
Yes. And I thought I put you in touch on LinkedIn because I told her about you. She knows about you. So it's like,
Oh,
we have Morayo with us. That is excellent. Oh, people are just going to drop in, I think. And I have a feeling Morayo is going to also be doing a present. You're not presenting anything, are you? You're just talking.
yeah, I'm just talking.
Yeah. Um, Morayo is going to be doing a presentation. And I think even there's another person who just sent a presentation through, but I'd rather they presented themselves. I wonder how many people we have. We had about 80 signed up. It's really good. It's
Hello, can
invitation.
you hear me?
Hi, good afternoon, Morayo. Thank you very much for joining us. And hello, Blessing. Thank you for joining us as well. Oh, perfect.
Hi, Noreen. Good afternoon. I just landed. I'm sorry I was airborne. I just landed, so I might be talking from the car. So
We're
you'll
very
have to
pleased to
pardon
see you
me.
go. Excellent. Morayo, I take it you're at work in Nigeria, right?
Yes, I am still in the office. So
In the
yes.
office. Perfect.
Oh,
Is it
oh, wow. It's nice to finally put a face to Mrs. Morayo herself. Thank you so much for really
Thank
agreeing to be on the call.
thank you for having me. But I need to try and share because we usually don't use Zoom on our office device, and we've just been given that approval to do it. So I want to try and test to
Yes.
see if I
Can
can
you
share
please?
my screen from here. Is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
okay? I
Co-host,
just
right? So you should be able to share.
So I just want to test it in advance to see that everything works.
Yes, that's perfect. Tamara, hi, thanks for joining us. And Elena is our MC is also on the line. Hi, Elena. Tamara, can you go? Oh,
Hello.
hi, Tamara. I see you finally too. Excellent.
Tamara, please, can you on your video? Let's see your face.
I did.
Elena, hi.
I'm online.
Wow, you're looking good.
Yeah. How are you managing, Morayo? Yes, you are. We are seeing your screen. It is perfect. Thank you.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so I'll stop sharing now.
And we will have another person who's going to be on the call as well, Nano, who's sent, I will make him co-share as well. Elena, are you okay? I want to check everybody's sound.
I am trying to connect my headphones, so just bear with me. I hope it's not too noisy where I am. I'm trying because I'm at the office, so I'm trying to find like a
No,
quiet
you're fine.
space.
You're fine. Well, we've got
just
Blessing
give
in
me a
a
few
car
minutes.
because she's just landed. But Blessing will only be online, you and me, for the first 4 minutes, as we introduce the call. So then you can go. Remember, if you're offline, we will all be seen. It's a webinar setting. So they will be seeing us 85 people dialed in. So I would prefer if you actually were on screen if you can, or else if you have a picture to replace your name.
So we've got this. I just want to quickly go into a room that has a great background on.
That's fine, Morayo. We'll be fine. Nana, hi. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, no trouble at all. No trouble at all. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you and good to meet you.
Great to
Nana,
meet
I'm going to make you a co-host. Do you mind sharing so we can see you have slides, right?
you. I'm sorry, say again?
You are going to be presenting, am I correct?
Yeah, just a brief deck for the, yeah.
You know we're tight on time. I will just say that to everybody.
100%. I'll zip through it. 6
Off
minutes.
the call, exactly. Do you want to try, I've given you co-sharing rights.
Okay, let's give it a go. Okay.
And I've made you co-host as well.
Okay.
Morayo will be there. We're just waiting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does everybody know we're missing someone, aren't
No,
we?
we're missing Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
Does that work? Can you see my
That works. That is perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fine. No, I was just saying we have had an amazing number of people who are just coming for this call. It's 96 now. So that's, it's obviously recorded, so we can share that afterwards as well. And it's just shows how much there is in both sides of the market, I think. So that's great. Before I pass over, just a quick check as we all haven't introduced ourselves. So my name is Noreen Burroughes Cesareo. I am the president of OWIT UK, and I am co-hosting together with Elena, who's the VP for the UK and our MC for the evening, who's just going to say hi. Then we'll go straight to Blessing. So Elena, please do come online and say hi.
Yeah, hello, hi everyone. I think I've met most of you, but thank you again for your time and joining this webinar today.
Thank you. We have Dr. Blessing Irabor, who's our president for OWIT Nigeria. Blessing, can you just come online, say hi quickly? You don't have sound. You're muted.
Sorry. Hi, everyone. Good evening, and it's nice to be here this evening.
Perfect. Thank you. We also are very privileged to have Morayo Adekunle with us from the British High Commission in Nigeria. I know you're moving rooms, so if you haven't yet settled, we'll come back to your hello in a minute. You are? Perfect.
Yeah, I think I would just stay here just because everything works now. So I don't want to have to move around. But
This
yes.
is brilliant, Morayo.
All right.
Thank you. We've got Divya Rajan, who is a OWIT UK member. Divya, do you want to just say hi and where are you from?
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm Divya Rajan and I'm from UK. I'm director of Trico Commodities and I'm in agro commodities trading from Nigeria.
Thank you. And obviously we have Tamara Egbedi, who I'm really delighted to have seen and finally met in a call. Tamara, please introduce yourself.
My name is Tamara Egbadi, and I'm the CEO, co-founder of Pachimama Foods, and I'm also a lawyer, both in the UK and in Nigeria.
Perfect. We are missing a speaker. Should I be worried?
No, she'll be joining in. I just sent her a message and I think she has seen it. She's trying to jump out from a program to join in immediately. So sorry
Okay.
about that. That's Elizabeth from Nigeria.
Thank you. Okay, well, hopefully she'll join in the next 4 minutes, 3 minutes, because we'll be having people joining the call, obviously, straight away.
Noreen, quick
yes,
question. Do you want me to get started like with the very first kind of our opening saying hello, or is it something you want to do?
I'll start it off. I'll kick the call off. And we are already getting people on the call, just to let you know. So we are live on air as we start now. Elizabeth, that is brilliant. Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us. Just to let you know, you are live. We are just waiting to kick off in 5 minutes. May I ask you to just come on camera so we can make sure your sound and picture is working? Elizabeth, do you mind if you come on sound and picture, please? It's always a bit nerve-wracking. Will the technology work? Right. Elizabeth, can you please come online? Hi, Elizabeth. Lovely to see you. Can we please also make... Oh, your sound is fine as well. Do you want to just say hi? You are live, but we haven't yet kicked off with the call. We're just doing a general check.
Yes, hi everybody.
Right. Are
Hope
you
I'm
okay?
fair enough.
Perfect. I'll advise
I'm
us all.
okay.
Thank you very much. We are having attendees come in. We will kick off promptly in 4 minutes. So if you'd like to just make sure you've got your coffees, teas, water all lined up and we're all ready to kick off. We have a very exciting hour ahead with a lot of information and insights and conversations concerning international trade between UK and Nigeria. So in the meantime, we'll just be quiet for about 2 minutes. Please bear with us, our attendees, because we will be kicking off very promptly at 4 o'clock, in 3 minutes time, in fact, at 4 o'clock.
Thank you.
Perfect. We're just kicking in again. We're 2 minutes away. Those of you just joining us now, please bear with us. We will kick off promptly in 2 minutes. Excuse me. I think I have a frog in my throat. And this is international across borders call, and we do have people dialed in from both sides of the continents, really, because we do have from Nigeria and from the UK, and that is a great call kicking off very, very shortly in approximately 30 seconds. So if I can just warn all our speakers to be ready, we will be kicking off on the hour.
Yeah, and Shengi is online with us all the way from Zimbabwe. She's joining in on this call. I could see her from the attendance list. Shengi, we are so happy to have you on this call. Thank you so much.
We're delighted, and hopefully when we have our Q&A, we'll be able to bring in OWIT members to ask any questions. And hopefully we'll manage to do it all in time as well, because it's a very, very packed call. And in fact, we are now nearing the last few seconds before we kick off. So a few housekeeping for our speakers. Please keep yourself unmuted whilst you're not speaking so that we won't interrupt with the sound. And I think we're literally a few seconds away, and we shall kick off. So, Blessing, I don't know if you'd like to come in on screen as well. I'm just going to kick off and start the call now. And that's it, 4 o'clock. Thank you, everybody, and welcome to this afternoon's webinar, which is a very exciting discovery of opportunities and challenges between trade between Nigeria and the UK. My name is Noreen Cesareo. I am the president of OWIT UK, and I'm co-host for this session together with my VP, Elena Molinari, and Dr. Blessing from OWIT Nigeria. Just to give you a very brief intro on what OWIT UK does. OWIT UK is part of the OWIT international family, and we are there to promote the advancement of women in international trade. Here in the UK, we focus on 3 pillars, which is the advocacy on trade finance and access to funding for trade, champion digitalization and access to digital tools, infrastructure, skills, and marketplaces, and promote, organize, and deliver programs that are centered around capacity building and trade facilitation. So today's call falls directly in line with our pillars, and I am delighted to now call on to Dr. Blessing to introduce OWIT Nigeria. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Blessing Irabor-Oza, President Organization of Women in International Trade. I don't know, can you hear me? Organization of Women in International Trade, OWIT Nigeria, was founded in 2018, making it the 3rd chapter in Africa and the first in West Africa. OWIT Nigerian has been at the forefront on policy advocacy and policy reform so that women can be properly integrated into international trade. And we have been connecting women to international markets at OWIT Nigeria. We also do a lot of capacity building, which help these women to understand the A to Z of export and also to understand the market entry intelligence on how they can go about this market. No. Go straight on how they can go about this market. As is OWIT Nigeria today is sitting as a member of the Trade Facilitation Committee and other trade bodies in Nigeria, fostering international trade for women. That is what we have from us in OWIT Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Blessing. I'm now going to pass over the proceedings to Elena, who is our VP, our MC for the call. Elena, in your hands.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Elena Molinari. I'm the VP for the UK OWIT chapter. So we're going to have a very interesting session today. It's going to be quite packed. We're going to talk about market opportunities and sectorial opportunities. We'll have presentations from both the UK and the Nigerian experts on high growth sectors, consumer trends, investment hotspots of each market. We'll be also talking about regulatory frameworks and compliance and challenges and strategies for success. We're going to hear today, it's going to be like a mix of experts on both trade and investment side, but we will also hear like live from the people that make this happen. So we got a couple of very interesting entrepreneurs there working across our 2 markets. Before I introduce our first speaker, a couple of notes for housekeeping. Just please make sure that you're muted throughout this session, so then we're not going to hear a lot of background noise. Just make sure that we're going to have some questions at the end. So if you have any question throughout the different presentation, please just put it in the chat box and we'll answer it the best we can at the end of the session. The session will be recorded and we will be sharing that at the end with all of you that attended. So that's all for me. So before we kind of get into our first speaker, I would like to introduce you to Morayo Adekunle. She's the Deputy Country Director and Investment Officer for the UK Department for Business and Trade. She is an experienced capital market, investment and trading professional with experience in capital markets development, deal organization, investor relationships, business development, and oil trading. In the course of her very long career, she's worked closely with diverse stakeholders in several sectors in the capital markets. So without further ado, welcome, Morayo, and over to you.
Thank you, Elena, and thank you for having me on this webinar. I would correct my surname. It is Adekunle, so that's my surname. I am Nigerian, as you can tell by the name. I want to go quickly to share my screen, and please let me know if you see what I see here. So you should have my PowerPoint presentation on your screen.
It is not yet showing us yet.
Not yet, no.
You'll have sharing rights, so you should be okay.
1 minute, please.
Not a problem. Thank you.
It's amazing with technology. We had this on previously and then it wouldn't share. But what I would do, just so I don't take a lot of our time, I would start.
It's working.
Is it working now?
We can see it now, yes.
We can see it
Okay,
now.
good. Okay, good. So again, I work for the Department for Business and Trade. I am the Deputy Country Director, working out of the Lagos office, but overseeing our trade business and investment business in Nigeria. I also lead on investments for the UK government in Nigeria. So we wear several hats, and I would speak to what we do in detail as I go through my presentation. I would rush some of them because these are probably data that we know. But I thought it was important to point out how good we have partnered together as two nations and two markets. Prior to now, we've always recorded good trade numbers. So I thought to spotlight, what the trade numbers are between the UK and Nigeria. This year alone, we've seen an increase of 1.2% from the trade numbers we recorded last year. So between trading of goods and services between UK and Nigeria, we recorded 7.2 billion. This is obviously across both markets. Of the 7.2 billion, which is an increase of about 86 million pounds from last year's records, we recorded about 5.1 billion of those figures was actually UK exports into Nigeria. We saw a decrease of about 24% from the records from last year for exports. So when I say exports, I mean imports into the UK, but exports from Nigeria into the UK last year. And of course, some of those could be attributed to several things. So it is the economic instability, it is the issues with devaluation, it is businesses just trying to stay afloat, it is, conversations around exporters not having Forex, for example, to really put in their stock onto the shelves in the UK. But we'll speak to those later on in the other slides that I would be showing you. But just to also point out, I think a critical data to say that Nigeria is UK's 36th largest trading partner. And that has been, we've been constant on that for the last 2 years. Top performers for the goods and services that we export across both markets. As we all know, it's a no-brainer, to say that refined oil and crude plays a critical part in what is being moved from both markets. So Of course, crude from Nigeria happens to be the number one top good that goes into the UK. The refined products happens to be, the number one commodity that comes into Nigeria from the UK. And then the list goes on and on, but I would rush through because I'm conscious of time. So just to speak quickly on what we do at the Department for Business and Trade. Really, I heard the president for Nigeria speak on what they do for the association, and that's typically what we do as well for the UK government in Nigeria. It is, as the name connotes, facilitating trade between both countries. Our mandate actually is to support UK businesses, find opportunities in Nigeria to leverage on partnerships where they require investment opportunities. So for businesses looking to set up in Nigeria, we also handhold UK businesses to do that. So spotlighting basically opportunities in this country for UK partners that have indicated interest in investing or trading in Nigeria. Interestingly, over the last 5 years, we supported trade worth over 6 billion pounds in total. So out of that 7.2 billion that you see quoted initially, in the last 5 years, we've been very instrumental in pushing 6 billion of those trades across both markets. Some of the things we do, besides trade, we're also big on trade policy and market access. So beyond facilitating trade, spotlighting opportunities for both UK businesses and Nigerian businesses. So when I talk about Nigerian businesses, I'm talking across all cadres. So we work closely with government as is expected. We facilitate those G2G conversations to open up the market in Nigeria for investments. To also ease the entry into the UK market for Nigerian exporters or Nigerian businesses looking to play in that market as well. But beyond that, we're also very big on market access. In doing that, what we do is engage government and advocate on behalf of UK businesses and Nigerian players as well, because the Nigerian businesses are also our stakeholders. And what we say in the UK government is if the host country prospers, if there's prosperity in the host country, then it's beneficial to the UK. So we push both markets and players in both markets. And what we do on a daily basis is advocate for UK businesses, looking at bottlenecks that deter investments, that make difficult the ease of doing business in Nigeria. And we speak and lobby on those issues with the federal government and state governments or agencies and regulators wherever it applies. So what we do, resolving, so when you see MAB, what it means is market access barriers. So we hold hands with the likes of Diageo, for example, or your Unilevers to engage government and the SMEs as well, to engage government on bottlenecks that are impeding growth or business expansion in Nigeria. I'll skip quickly because I'm conscious of time. So as I mentioned, G2G conversations, dialogues, we do organize roundtable discussions. We had just last week a roundtable discussion that was chaired by the DBT, but we partnered with the Office of the National Security Advisor, and we were looking at cybersecurity. I will touch on the sectors that we focus on, but just wanted to point out something we did as recent as last week. We currently have a trade mission going on in Abuja for the education sector. So these are things that we do to kind of spotlight opportunities in this market, bring in UK interest and bring them into market to physically see opportunities in this market. So we have government to business dialogues where we organize business key stakeholders to sit with government on both sides. So Nigerian businesses, for example, one you can relate with, Airpace, looking to operate in the UK, have challenges, they want to speak to regulators. We bring them in the room, we bring in the UK counterparts to engage them. On the other side as well, we have UK businesses like your Nigerian, like your British Airways, Virgin Atlantic, at the time that had funds stranded in the country, needed to engage the CBN. We do all of that. We engage government. So we're the intermediary between the private sector and government, basically, and also trade partnerships. And I think I'll speak to that. We're heavy on partnerships, as I just said. We work closely with Chamber of Commerce's. We work with the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce. We work with the Lagos Chamber of Commerce. We have a British business group that also helps foster conversations between the UK side and the Nigerian side. We have an array of trade advisors that are specific, they're sector specific, and they're experts in those sectors. I would speak to the sectors that we're focused on that speak and specifically help on ensuring the promotion and facilitation of trade and investments between both markets. And we also have an export support team that also handholds the UK businesses looking to come into Nigeria. So typically we would get requests around, I'm in the FMCG space. I need a distributor in Nigeria. I've done my due diligence, but I also want to come through you into the market. So that is where we then step in to support UK businesses to ensure that they are speaking to the right companies or stakeholders. These are priority sectors, not to say that we are not focused on other sectors, but priority sectors for the UK and the UK government is, of course, infrastructure, because we understand the infrastructure deficit in Africa, not just Nigeria. Education is a big one. As we all know, that's top of list for Nigerians looking to go into the UK. Clean energy, healthcare, technology as well. We've seen a lot of interest in that space. We also touch on other sectors, but just wanted to spotlight the priority sectors. And then, we do everything, agriculture, creative. So we're supporting Nigerian musicians, for example, looking for partnerships in the UK, in the fashion space, in the sports space, the UK interest looking to come established academies in Nigeria. We also support that. And the list goes on, financial and professional services as well. So I'll just touch on the programs that we support. The GEP program is one that helps innovative entrepreneurs tap into the UK market. This is strictly for the tech space. So this is for tech players looking to set up shop in the UK. As you know, or some of you might know, the UK is home to over 100 unicorns. Capital to be raised in the UK for the tech players as well. So this is one that we're pushing. I think a name that we all know is Kuda Bank. Kuda Bank set up their HQ in the UK with our support, and they've been able to access fund and capital just working closely with us. The next slide just touches on, the requirements for startups and companies, tech companies looking to scale up. We have this presentation. We would share this with everybody on the call, but I don't want to bore you with so many information that you can get after this call. There's another program called the Growth Gateway. The Growth Gateway is simply for entities looking for access into the UK market. So the Growth Gateway would help, for example, companies looking to export their bottled goods. So for example, we have stakeholders that have reached out to us to say, I'm trying to get my products on the shelves of Sainsbury's or Asda. We would then connect them to the Growth Gateway team to help them understand how they can access the market, to help connect them to stakeholders in the UK market that adds value to what they're looking for, the services or the goods that they're looking to place in the UK market, so to speak. So that's what the Growth Gateway does. It helps you make the right connections and networks to counterparts in the UK side, helps you with advisory support as well. So I would stop there so I don't take too much of our time. Just to speak quickly on the ETIP. So the ETIP, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but the UK and Nigeria do not have a bilateral trade agreement. So the ETIP acts as our bilateral trading arrangement, almost like a framework that guides our trade and investment conversations on a G2G level. So the UK government recently signed this, I think, and I hope I haven't mixed the dates wrong, but we signed this in February this year, where we had the SOS, the Secretary of State, at the time, Kemi Badenoch, coming to Nigeria to sign this with the Minister for Trade and Investment. And this just helps us with a framework of priority sectors to focus on, but beyond that, other pertinent issues that the UK can come in to help resolve, the Nigerian government identify, basically. So I'll just read that last line that I've boldened up. It's the ETIP takes the form of a non-legally binding MOU under which the UK and Nigeria addresses market access issues and non-tariff barriers, highlighting investment deals as well, and committing to increased trade cooperation, formalizing technical discussions between both markets. So these are the areas that the ETIP covers. I wouldn't rush through this, but I think the sectors that I mentioned are critical sectors that we're looking at. Investment is key, legal services, financial services, but I would rush through this because I'm conscious of time. I think lastly, the DCTS is one that we've had a lot of interest in. This really plays to exporters in Nigeria looking to have access to the UK market. So what the DCTS does is it's a trading scheme that allows a generous preferential trading system. So under this scheme, we have countries that have been shortlisted for duty-free access for their goods. So currently, Nigeria is signed up as one of the countries where our exports enjoy 99% duty-free. On that list, we have over 3,000 commodities. I would share a link for exporters on the call, specifically those in the agro space looking to export goods into the UK. This is one that you should consider. And I think my time is up, but this is the last slide. And just to let you know that we also have an investment hub that supports you if you're looking for investors, you're looking to raise capital. We actually have a team in the UK that looks at opportunities in Africa, specifically in Nigeria. We have investors that have indicated interest in actually investing in Nigeria, and we're able to link you up with those investors. I think my time is up, and that's it for me. I'm happy to take questions at the end. I want to
Thank
try.
you so much, Morayo. Maybe just one very quick question for me. How can our companies get in touch with you? Would it be via your website or is there an email address? I think that would be quite helpful.
Okay, I would drop my email address in the chat box. We do have a team's email address, but happy for you to send the emails to me, and I would push on to relevant team members that handle specific sectors that you have questions on. So
Excellent.
I'll just put that in the chat box.
Thank you
very
so
much.
much. Thank you. That's very
Sorry,
helpful.
Elena, I have a question for Mrs. Morayo. I would have loved if I can say something to her, if you don't
Very
mind.
quickly, yes, of course. Very quickly.
Okay, Mrs. Morayo, how do an organization as OWIT collaborate with you? Because I remember when Philip was there, we had a program with Philip on export readiness. That was in 2019, and we've not done anything with the British Council. We would have loved to work with you just the way the Chamber of Commerce is having a program with you. Thank you.
So that was why I indicated that we're big on partnerships. I'm happy to have a conversation with you outside of this call. Let's know where we can support. We do organize a lot of trade missions. We organize a lot of suppliers fairs. We have conferences that are sector specific as well. So we're happy to have a conversation with you outside of this call. Yeah, looking forward to the partnerships as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Morayo.
We are collecting questions, right? If anybody has any question, please do put it in the chat and these will be discussed. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. So next we've got Tamara. Tamara is a dual qualified lawyer, both in England and Wales in Nigeria, with an extensive experience having worked with very international companies in the oil and gas sector for the past 15 years. Tamara is now a co-founder of Pachamama Foods, which is a Nigerian agribusiness focused on alleviation of malnutrition in Africa and beyond. So Tamara, over to you. I guess what would be very interesting to hear is like being you're based like in this unique position between the UK and Nigeria. We're very keen to hear your experience and point of view. So over to you. Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much. My name is Tamara again, and I'm a lawyer. I'm qualified in both the UK and in Nigeria. And the good part about what I do is I do business in the UK, and I equally have an agricultural agri-tech business called Pachimama Foods. Um, we actually concentrate on products which combat malnutrition and promote a healthy lifestyle. Now, what is very funny is, despite being an entrepreneur, I equally still trade my services as a lawyer, and I trade my services as a consultant, business consultant. I equally trade my services as a mediator. So this is quite very interesting and quite unique, which I would say, because when you look at the UK has been one of Nigeria's, based on history, one of the biggest partners with Nigeria for a very long time. And my part today in speaking is about the challenges as well as the opportunities regarding trade in services. Now, when you look at it, there are various challenges. A couple of us might know what they are. We have the economic conditions, because I think you might know that Nigeria currently is going through a lot of what's this thing called, inflation. We're having a lot of exchange rate issues. And the business environment can be challenging due to this intellectual property. Because what it is you get a lot of people that when it comes to intellectual property, it's easier to protect your IP in the UK than in Nigeria. Those are some of the challenges some businesses have. Then you also have regulatory barriers, which happens between each countries. Just like Morayo said, there are certain barriers, but this is where they're coming. And equally coming, working a UK company trying to do business in Nigeria. So despite these challenges, there are opportunities. Look, for instance, in the trading services, the good part about it is, unlike goods, is fluid. A lot of things, a lot of what I do with my business, because as a consultant, I equally advise a lot of UK businesses on how to enter into the Nigerian market. What what steps, what they need to watch out for, their partnerships, things they have to look out for, regulatory, all that. Now, I don't need to exactly be in Nigeria or in the UK. I can be anywhere, but because I'm qualified in both, it's so much easy. So you can imagine a British business person or a British consultant. You can trade your services in Nigeria, because as long as you have the internet, voila, you have it. Then on IP services, due to the business that come in from both countries, well as our products coming in from Nigeria to the UK, as well as UK goods coming in, IP lawyers are in demand on both sides. So you can imagine that the IP, a UK company bringing in their goods or anything they wish to do, you have you have a group where you have lawyers that can advise you on how to protect your IP in Nigeria. Nigerians equally wanting to do business in Nigeria, sorry, in the UK. How do you also protect your IP in the UK? That is another business opportunity for trading service. Legal services are amazing. They see Nigeria has so much business going on in the UK, and the UK lawyers are key. Good thing about UK corporate lawyers, we can work anywhere in the world. Same with Nigerian company, same with Nigerian lawyers, giving advice and their services to UK businesses coming into here as well. Then as you look at all that, at the end of the day, I keep saying something. Collaboration is key. There's a lot of things that the UK and Nigeria can collaborate together on services, like the market opportunities. The Nigerian part, and you know what is good about OWIT is, as an organization, we are the bridge. So as a bridge, imagine a UK business wanting to come to Nigeria without and having a very smooth landing. Or with Nigeria can actually be as the bridge, because you have the market. they can be able to access the market, do the research, help you, practically hold your hand. Same way that I believe that the OWIT, the UK can equally do for Nigerian businesses. Then you have packaging services. As we all know, a lot of times, a lot of goods coming in from Nigeria. Nigeria has absolutely great products. But I think also a lot of times is the packaging. Sometimes some packages are not so well packaged to attract the international market. Now, this is where a trading service could come in because the UK has so many businesses that provide processing and packaging services. This is another opportunity for both sides. Then we have vocational trainings. You see, it looks very simple, but plumbers, a lot of this key kind of handiwork as well as vocational studies, there's so much key as well as education. Like my alma mater, University of Dundee, they had a collaboration with another alma mater of mine, University of Lagos, where they have masters, but it's done online. And at the final, I think the final months, they're able to travel to Scotland, finish up their program, and also enjoy everything. And this is a very good way because currently with such problems with the exchange rate, this way you can imagine that Nigeria actually contributes more than 20% when it comes to education in the UK universities. These are trading services that we can do even online together. Healthcare. Healthcare is
Tamara, can I
massive.
please ask you to wrap it up? We've
Oh,
got
not a
almost minutes
problem.
left. Thank you.
This is already up. Healthcare is another key one because as you see in the UK, there's a lot of um, Nigerians as well as Africans coming in on care homes, nurses, and HR and staffing. Today, we do not need to actually hire people across the country. You can hire them wherever they are. And on both sides, these services are easily, and I can say easily achievable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So next up, we've got Nana Mpofu. Nana is based in the UK, and he's the co-founder and managing partner for Songhai Advisory and a country risk specialist with over 15 years of experience in assisting private and public sector clients in sub-Saharan Africa. His expertise includes sovereign risk assessment, FDI regime design, and competitive strategy. Nana, welcome to our webinar today. I have two questions for you, if you could like to answer them. So one is, what are the key trade and investment opportunities in market for UK companies? And how is the macro and regulatory environment evolving? Over to you.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is update my CV a little bit. So I'm the MD at Seven River Capital, which is an advisory practice within a family office within a family structure. So my job is to direct various species of strategic advice towards their portfolio of companies and also third party clients and the family office itself. So that's what I'm doing currently. We have I am based in London. We have our office in Abuja, and we have a presence in a number of other countries. Nigeria is very important to the work that I'm doing currently, and it has been for quite some time. As you mentioned, I was co-founder of a corporate intelligence company, helping clients to kick the tires on counterparties and competitive strategies, market entry when they were looking at the region. And in another life before that, I was in the investment policy review team for a UN agency. So we'd have governments like Nigeria who wanted to attract FDI into areas of strategic priority, and we would help them think through how the Nigerian investment climate or business environment applies to the people they wanted to turn up and do business in those countries. So if I tackle the question in two parts, I'll begin with how Nigeria looks to us at the moment, you know, in terms of the regulatory environment and the sort of macro context. And I think this might chime with some of the points that have already been made about the extent of economic volatility at the moment, but there is a broader context as well, which, you know, keeps us interested beyond the fact that Nigeria is home to us. So the way that we view Nigeria is a scale economy going in the midst of introducing reforms to legacy issues. So in terms of the legacy issues, we're talking about the multiple exchange rates at a rate higher than the market could support. We're talking about the extent to which the fiscal policy looked unsustainable in terms of the amount being the amount of tax being raised locally, and the extent to which funds were going towards various subsidies and being supported by central bank spending. All of this made it difficult to be confident about the long-term outlook of Nigeria. The way in which the reforms have been introduced has been particularly painful, but one would expect them to be painful anyway. I borrowed the term the J curve from Ian Bremmer, Ian Bremmer's book, talking about political reform, but it applies to economic reform as well. When you first introduce such dramatic reforms, it leads to a dip and certain vulnerabilities as an economy transitions. That's what Nigeria is going through at the moment, and it has. So just to mention what those reforms are actually is, you know, the unification of the exchange rate. So there are no longer those 4 different exchange rates running currently. You've got the official rate and the, you know, and of course the parallel rate still exists, but the gap between the two has been reduced quite substantially, and efforts have been made to remove the PMS, the fuel subsidy. It's led to dramatic increases in the cost of living for households, and therefore the amount of disposable income that they have for businesses has shrunk as a result. That's affected growth in the non-oil sector of the economy. You know, people are feeling it. But on the other side of that, you see the fiscal situation starting to improve. You see that the rate of currency depreciation, it's still painful. I mean, if you're living with 33% or 34% inflation, nothing anyone can say to you about things are improving really is going to feel like the truth or relevant. But there are changes going on. So as I say, fiscal situation is improving. The rate of currency depreciation is slowing. If you compared May to November 2023, it would have been more like an 100% currency depreciation as against 14% currency depreciation in May to November 2024. Still painful, but something is happening that we are paying attention to, and one might expect to happen as a result of you know, some of these rational reforms. I'm not sure where I am in terms of the 6-minute mark. I felt very confident that I was going to fall within. 2
more minutes.
Okay, 2 more minutes. Okay. So in terms of the opportunity, as I say, it's a scale market. You can't afford to ignore Nigeria. It is home to us. We can't afford to ignore it. On its own, it's around 1/6 of the population and GDP of the continent. Some of the points there made about the opportunities for services trade between Nigeria and the UK illustrate what I think is the sort of demographic or the sort of skill set on either side of the divide there. And then if you look at this list that I've got that I've put up there is the list of African unicorns. Just there's a disproportionate number that are from Nigeria. And
you, ma'am.
whether or not you agree entirely with the valuation of those companies, there is something happening in the trafficking of ideas and capital. There is a trickle-down effect, which does make it more hospitable to enter the market in other areas, those areas in which we like to play. I know that somebody is going to speak about soft commodities later on, and the trade between the UK and Nigeria, but that's another area where we see Nigeria having comparative advantage. And currency depreciation, actually, as painful as it is, underscores that as well. It could make certain Nigerian businesses and products more competitive. So that's me. You can email me here. You can find me on LinkedIn as well. And there we go.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And thank you for keeping within the time allocation. So we got next up, Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a second-generation exporter and a University of Ibadan alumna. She's a dynamic CEO with over 20 years of experience in global entrepreneurship experience. So Elizabeth, can you share with us a little bit about your experience in trading internationally between Nigeria and the UK? And if you could include a couple of challenges you faced and lessons you learned, I think that would be really great. So over to you.
We may have a problem because I think she may have fallen out. While she comes back online, shall we move to one of our other speakers?
Yeah, absolutely. So we got Divya that's next. Divya, she's director of Treco Commodities UK, an agribusiness group mainly focusing on cashew processing and trade, with more than 30 years of experience in the cashew processing, with cashew processing plants. Due to its direct from farmer policy, the company has built a sense of trust among its clients spread around the globe, and they're currently dealing internationally in a lot of countries. So Divya, welcome to our session this afternoon. Can you please share a little bit more about your experience when trading with Nigeria? And similar to what I've asked to Elizabeth, if you could include a couple of opportunities, challenges, and lessons that you learned during your time dealing with Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the invite. And my name is Divya. I am the director of Treco Commodities. Like you said, we have 30 years of experience in trading. So now we focus on agro commodities mainly in the cashew nuts. And now we are focusing on our forward integration to vegan-based, cashew-based vegan products. And we will be launching our vegan range in Gulf Food Expo 2025. So all these are cashew-based vegan products. So why to Nigeria and how we started is West Africa is an important source for cashews, example in Nigeria, Benin, Ivory Coast, and Ghana, where we source our cashew nuts. And I was in Nigeria from 1996 to 2000 period, and so I have experience in living in Nigeria and also working in Nigeria. So now our group buy roughly around 5 to 6 containers per year of cashews, and it's worth roughly, I can say it is $500,000. And Nigeria has a huge potential for agro commodities. It is an oil-rich country and is a part of OPEC, and it is most populous country in Africa, and is a well-educated people, and I can see a lot of potential. And the soil is fertile and is more or less a tropical climate, and is good for any crops like cashew, cocoa, cotton, etc. And it is also part of ECOWAS. So ECOWAS is the group of economic countries in Africa. So we can trade from other part of Africa, and we can ship from port in Nigeria called Apapa or Tin Can. And so there are a lot of potentials are there, and we faced some challenges that I would like to share that with you. And like someone said here, and it is some challenges. So I'm speeding up because of time delay, and so I can say some macro points like 80% of foreign exchange comes from oil. It is an oil-rich country. I understand that, but we supporting agriculture, agro commodities. Uh, it agro commodities deserves some more attention. And another macro point I can raise is depreciating naira. In 1998 to 2000 period, when I was there, $1 was equivalent to 80 to 90 naira. Now it has gone up to 1,600 or 1,700 naira, and inflation is also on double digits. All these are causing cost of price is going high. And the challenges we are facing currently is a shipment delay. We have good suppliers and a good quality of a good available. One of the main problem we face is a shipment delay. Since ours is a commodity item, uh, timely shipment is extremely important for us. We in turn we have contract with our buyers in Europe and in UK, uh, which sometimes we default the contracts because of this shipment delay. uh, I can understand that. I can say that, so most of these delays are beyond the control of the supplier. uh, but after all, if we can't deliver the goods on time, and so we are defaulting the contract. So another problem we are facing is you can say it is a documentation. We are in agro commodities, so we need a lot of health certificates, like other health certificate like microbiological certificate, pesticide analysis, and a lot of health certificate alongside the packing list and a BL. And for a supplier, getting all these is taking time. Uh, Even if the container gets at the Felixstowe port in UK, the documents are not reaching on time. Because of this, it is incurring a high demurrage at the port. So these are some of the challenges I'm sharing because of short of time, and I can say that I can say some key achievements and successes also. And it is our company's policy is we like to source direct from the farmer. So we get a good quality of goods from Nigeria, like like a region in Nigeria called Ogomosho. So Ogomosho has a premium quality of cashew nuts. So so we can match the quality requirement of our customers. So now we are also planning to buy more agro commodities like dry ginger, sesame seeds, and now we are planning to add more and more products.
Thank you, Divya. Do you want to just add one more closing remark? We're running out of time.
Yes, that's why I'm speeding up. And so I can share some lessons or some advice, so to other other exporters like me. Although Nigeria has a good potential, and we can source directly from the farmer, so we have as a trader, so we have some company policies and the thumbs up rules that we do. So not only Nigeria, from any part of the world, so the source, we normally visit the country. We do a factory audit. We do health check. we we do like health check, like is this company has ISO standards or BRC standards, the capacity of the company, the credit check of the company. So we do find out, and also we have a Experian account, and also we check the credit worthiness of the country, the company, the financial strength of the company. All the above, even if all the above are in place, and so we do a trial order. And also for quality checking, we approach third party quality checking before stuffing the goods in the container. And so we normally do with the STS. So, and we deal in FOB basis, and we have marine insurance. So we are in control of goods.
A bit more of a hands-on approach. Brilliant. Thank you so much. So I think we have Elizabeth back on. Elizabeth, can you hear us?
Yes, I'm here. Good
Hi.
afternoon, everyone.
Hello, over to you.
Good. I'm good. Thank you. Good afternoon. Elizabeth Olarenwaju is my name. I'm the VP of OWIT Nigeria for Export and Agriculture, and also double in my company as the CEO and Research and Development. In my capacity, I've worked with different government agencies on consultancy, helping the SME and farmer to be prepared for integration into international markets. Oklan, based on its own, has exported goods from Nigeria, be it produce or products or manufacturer goods from Nigeria to UK in the last 10 years. We've been much more focused on that. And we've had good times and we've had bad times. But above all the challenges, what we can say is it's a good line of business for people who know the three tripod stand of trading internationally: the sourcing, the funding, and the markets. So the market in this situation is UK. I hope you can hear me well. The sourcing goes into traceability, and the funding cannot be left behind. So whichever way, you need your funding. Now going into traceability and sourcing, we work with farmers to make sure the needful is done so that our produce are not rejected. In the last 10 years, we have exported fresh produce like habanero. There's what we call ewedu jute malo. There is ugu that will also, it's one of the favorite delicacy of Nigerians. We have okra as well. And in frozen version, we've done frozen okra, ewedu, ugu, ogi, and iru, which is locust beans. We've also done packed food, the gari, the elibo, which is yam flour, plantain flour. We've done indomie, we've done drinks, we've done a lot of our confectionaries from Nigeria. And the laws keep changing, which is where the challenges goes into. And the challenges varies from the government side, which is not their fault, but the communication line. Most times the communication of rules that have changed or the expectation that have changed is being communicated with a particular line of the government in Nigeria side for quarantine. And most times these documents just sit on their desks. They make effort to disseminate it, but at times it does not get into the proper stakeholders' hands so that they can reflect on it on time and handle their work. Hence, exporters could get into the trap of being rejected. We've also done addition value products like shea butter, black soap, and into UK, we've been able to document our work on these two products with European because they are responsible for cosmetics. The cosmetics safety report comes under European, while DEFRA handles the fresh produce, the food from the farms. They releases their laws or rules, and they give you 1 or 2 years and say, oh, at so point, In 2025, we're clamping down on this product if you are using this impute. So there is need for us to have like a bridge between the gap. Most of the producer or the production line are not conversant with going online to access those information. And I will project or say, can OWIT serve as a bridge, getting this communication from all these offices down to the farmers, down to the processors, down to the exporters, so that they don't fall short of the expectation? Because that is where the challenges are. And as much as there are challenges, we must look for solutions. In my own right, as an exporter, I will advocate for that, so that Madam Morayo can work with us on this to see how best we can get information for European, how we can get information from DEFRA on what is expected of exporters from Nigeria. Don't forget, most of the primary producers are not schooled, and therefore they don't have access to those information. So there is a line of communication that we need to open as a result of this communication going on today. And I'm glad. If there is any other thing, importation into UK is shorter, most especially if you are using Primadi. We suffered from logistics and other issues. Logistics from farm to processing center to Lagos to moving. The issue of paying the freight using Forex, you having to look for Forex at all costs to pay the shipping line is another issue. The payment system, if money is not paid, as I always put it, by the time the processor put things together, there is a time attached to that. Before the exporter put everything together, package it, and export it, sometimes it takes 2 months, 3 months for this to be done. So payment should not be delayed. They have suffered payment delayed for 3 months. So by the time it's getting to the importer, it's already into 4 months. And I know that there are lots of stores that says, if you are dealing with us for the first time, we're not going to pay you for the first 6 months until XYZ. I think all those things should be reconsidered. There should be a round conference table where we will have a new negotiation where people like us can sit with Sainsbury's, Tesco, to have a proper training of what they want on their shelf and how to get it across and how to be paid. I don't think after working for 3 months, I should be delayed in payment. Payment system is important. It's important so that the exporter get their money back from the importer.
Yeah. And I think this topic would deserve probably like a whole webinar itself. So I think this could be like an idea for a potential follow-up. So thank you very much for your contribution, Elizabeth. So we got about 4 minutes left. We're running a bit short in time, but are there any questions for our panelists? If you do, feel free either to unmute yourself or to write it in the chat box. Yeah, I think we got someone that raised its hand, so feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question if you have one.
Yes, good evening. It's evening where I am. My name is Jane Lovo, founder president of OWIT Zimbabwe. I want to thank all the ladies, all the panelists who have just shared their insights into business, whatever they're doing. I've just taken all their email addresses, very, very powerful interventions. And I think we need a lot longer time than the time we had today. But anyway, my question was to Divya, and I had it recorded in the Q&A platform just to cut off time. I was just asking about trade barriers in terms of agricultural products. I'm so blown away that you are managing to export into the UK and import from Nigeria and export to the UK, despite the technical barriers that usually are faced by agricultural goods. And my question is, how are you managing? Are there any special capacity building programs? What is the secret? And are there any cost implications in achieving that compliance? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. And like I said, so we are sourcing cashew nuts from Nigeria. and Nigeria is one of the important source of cashew nut. And we get product direct from farmer, so that is and also we get good quality. That's one of the key achievement of dealing with Nigeria. We face some challenges, but so there are some challenges, and so we do overcome all this. And like I said, so what we do is we always not only in Nigeria, any other country, we always visit the country, visit the factory, and we do factory audit and health check and a credit check and a net worth, check the net worth and the financial strength of the company and the capacity of the company, and whether they can ship goods on time and we can deliver on time, and we make a contract at the beginning, and if all these are above in place, and we always go for a trial order, and we have a third-party quality inspections in place. Like in Nigeria, we use STS. They are third-party quality checking, and we always deal in FOB basis. And so we have Morayo insurance. So we are in control of the goods, and so we are managing. And I think Nigeria has a huge potential in agro commodities also, not only oil. And so we need more lighting in agro commodities also.
And
Yes.
on that
Thank
note,
you.
Elena, we will have to close, I'm afraid.
Yes, we have. Well, thank you so much for everyone that has joined. If you do have some questions, please keep putting them in the chat box and we will get back to you when we can. So I would really like to extend like a big thank you to all our speakers for their expertise and all the attendees and participation and engagement. So remember, the opportunity that we have to start conversations between the UK and Nigeria is quite important to develop our trade corridors. And if you'd like to be interested in joining our OWIT network, just feel free to go on our website owit.org to sign up. Any more questions, you know where to find us. So thank you again, everyone that has joined. It's been like a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Elena, for your absolutely wonderful coordination and emceeing of the school. Thank you, Blessing, with Nigeria. We are delighted to be twinning with you on the school. And thank you very, very much to Morayo Adekunle for her fantastic introduction. We will be sending out material after the call. We now have to close because Madame President, who is also on our call, will be starting her call in the next minute. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. It was so interesting.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.